Up here on the deck, Amy Desjardins, Bruyere Foundation President, here on behalf of Hospice Ottawa today. Just a beautiful spot, right? We have the gardens from Creekside, like the planters from Creekside Gardens up here, and when you're in a nice space, you get this great feeling.
Oh, there's nothing like it. Nothing like nature.
Now we're going to talk about something that's most people shy away from talking about. It's usually a very difficult discussion. We're talking about hospice care, and there's a big difference, and I want you to explain this first. Difference between palliative care and hospice care.
Well, when a system is working well, a palliative care unit like the one at Bruyere is really focused on caring for terminally ill patients, but really addressing their pain and symptoms.
Okay.
A hospice bed is for patients that are at end of life. The difference is the cost. It is much less expensive to run a hospice bed as opposed to a palliative care bed in a hospital. So we need, a community of our size needs between 70 and 80 hospice beds.
And the number we have is scary to me.
We have 9 hospice beds at Hospice at Maycourt.
That is not acceptable, really. That's just not an acceptable number. It's not one that fills our needs. And so there's a plan for a hospice care center in Kanata.
There is, and Hospice Care Ottawa is a newly formed organization which is the merger of Hospice at Maycourt and Friends of Hospice Ottawa.
Okay.
And this group has merged to regionalize our approach to hospice palliative care in our community and expand the number of beds. They've opened some temporary beds at the Embassy West residence, and they've purchased 110 McCurdy, which was previously the Trinity Presbyterian Church. And our plan is that we're going to be opening a day hospice and a 10-bed residence in Kanata.
That is such a beautiful idea, and for anyone who's been there for someone's end of life, it can be a very quiet and peaceful situation, especially when under hospice care. And I think it's something that is so important to make sure that someone has the dignity and the least amount of suffering possible, and that's what we're talking about today. CFRA is doing something very special today with Lowell Green Show and Rob Snow, and on the website you can donate right now to help with funds to open the center in Kanata. But there is also a project that goes along with that, right? The Gails Garden. Talk about that.
Our plans for building and renovating 110 McCurdy are obviously that it's going to be a state-of-the-art hospice. We're hoping to raise $6 million. We've raised 1.7 to date. But one of the very special features of the hospice is going to be a garden. Anyone who's visited Hospice at Maycourt is blown away by the beauty of the garden in Old Ottawa South. We're going to replicate that in Kanata. And it is a tremendous honor that we're going to be able to do that in honor of the late Gayle Madely. Gayle and Steve were wonderful friends of Bruyere Continuing Care and many organizations in the community, and it's just a real pleasure to be able to do that.
Yeah, and Steve told a wonderful story on our show earlier this morning about Gayle's final day. They celebrated Mother's Day on the Friday, opened, everybody brought their TV trays in with barbecue, and just really celebrated her last day of communication, and she passed on the following day, on the Saturday. And with that in mind, it's even an amazing effect of someone being in a place of beauty, even at the maybe what would seem like their darkest hour doesn't have to be, right?
Absolutely not. I mean, quality of life for everyone differs, and for many people, nature and beauty is a really important piece of quality of life. And I can just imagine the memory the Madeleys were left with on that Mother's Day of gathering, watching the garden that was so important to Gayle, and just to be able to be together in that space that was so meaningful to that family.
Yeah, I missed a key component to that. All of friends and family redid the planters in the backyard and redid just an amazing thing that they did for her that day. And so, just with that in mind, to take out, there's something about nature, and it doesn't matter if you're a nature lover or not, looking at things of beauty takes away stress, and the last thing you need is any extra stress at the end of life.
It's healing. It's healing. It's reflective. It fills so many spiritual Just a wonderful, wonderful feeling, and it's going to be a great gift to be able to provide the citizens of Kanata.
I'm sure there's no donation too small.
Absolutely not.
CFRA.com is really the easiest way to do this. Just go to CFRA.com and click on the link and donate today, a special day, and listen today throughout the day on CFRA as stories are told and you get to become a part of the fundraising. Amy, thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Thank you so much.
Just a wonderful idea, and I hope you get on board with it. 9 beds in Ottawa is not right, so we will fix that with a new centre in Kanata for hospice.